I am here. This is X35 Earthwalker, the one true Earthwalker, the legendary Tunnel Soldier himself, and welcome back to another awesome podcast episode, which I'll hopefully turn into a video on YouTube as well. Hey guys, hope all is well. You know, we're doing good days, things going good, but we got another game-centered podcast episode. And we're going to be talking about Back 4 Blood and some stupid trolls who kind of helped inspire this. Like, yeah, you don't fight with the bums beneath you. You use them, as like some cheap fuel, very cheap fuel. And so I'm gonna get into the whole point about why I want to talk about Back 4 Blood again. You guys know I love Back 4 Blood. I put many hours into the game. I've done multiple runs. I think this game is great. It's one of the games that, again, there are many idiots on the internet want to say it's bad. They're all wrong for that, literally, and I've proven that objectively multiple times already, but we'll do a bit more of that again as well, right? And I just play it and I have a blast. I play with some friends and family. They have a blast. I go online. There's lots of people who had a blast, but there's also a lot of those angry, low IQ voices that attacked it. And let me get into a bit of, what made me want to go about Back 4 Blood again. The trolls are the secondary factor, right? Two trolls in particular. But number one was, I think semi-recently, a gaming group of bums, RDC, Run Duke is coming, that's what it probably stands for, right? They were playing a game, I think it's called No Room in Hell 2, or is it No More Room in Hell 2? It's like a zombie game, right? And they were having, I guess you could say, fun. I mean, we all know if Dylan says, man, this is live, he probably won't touch it again. It's like the equivalent of him saying, we're going to play this off stream, chat. Yeah, Ubisoft learned the hard way what that meant. That was a funny moment, not gonna lie. Right? But I wanted to focus on the Gentle Giant and one of the best members of RDC, Leland, right? He said something I 100% agreed with. And he said this before in one other video, and he was ignored then. And I feel like Leland needs to put his foot down and make his voice have more weight a bit more. Because he sounds kind of ignored sometimes, except for when he's telling the joke. Hey, Lee, tell a joke kind of thing. He said, man, we need to go back and play Back 4 Blood properly. He said that game was funny. He said something similar like that. Like, I think it was when they was doing a tier list. He said, and when he was doing a tier list back in the day, he said, we hold that game. We did not give it a proper chance. Leland twice spoke up and said the right thing. Because I've already spoke about that. I already, called out RDC for the foolishness, the damage they did to the developers and the game, and how they negatively impact the minds of thousands of people with how they treated Back 4 Blood. They didn't follow the instructions, even the game told them what to do, even with recommendations. They didn't play the game properly, stayed at the highest difficulty where it's impossible for them to win. They just kept dying in the first level, made no progress. Then they got tired eventually because they kept dying in the first level, made no progress. And then saying, I'm not really feeling this game so much. Kind of got a bit negative about it. I'm not going to lie. It was hilarious. There was lots of funny moments. So they got laughs out of it. But they hold the game. And they weren't the only ones. I called out another group who did an even worse job. At least RDC's fails, it was actually funny and entertaining. Another group was, they called themselves, I think, Some Bros, PG and his friends. Those idiots were absolute worst. Because they're veterans in Left 4 Dead 2, which is an easy mode game, right? They thought that they could just go into Back 4 Blood, and because they're veterans of Left 4 Dead 2, they could just do the hardest difficulty and make progress. No, sucker. Unless you're the best gamers in the world like me, they couldn't do it. They also got destroyed in the first level, made no progress. And while Odyssey played off more cool, oh no, we had some fun, maybe another side. PG and these guys just straight up just said, man, this game is nowhere near as good as Left 4 Dead 2. Man, how could they mess this game up so bad? And it's you didn't follow the instructions, you did not play the game properly, and you was on level 1. You didn't even get to meet all the enemy, the ridden variants that are there. You didn't even get to come across all the weapons. You didn't even see freaking 1/10 of the game. And they're being idiots. And that's why you can't have foolish people, stupid people, have followers and stuff. I mean, if you're dumb enough to follow them, that's you, right? Because they influence dumber people who can't think for themselves to think the same way. And they push out nonsense. It's one thing if you played for the game like me and you had more in-depth to know what you're talking about. Nothing to do what they did. So that annoyed me. So when I heard Leland say it twice, I really hope to take on board and go back to Back 4 Blood. Not Left 4 Dead 2, Back 4 Blood. And give it a proper, like I said, play it properly. Because they didn't give it a fair try. Every game I try, I give it a fair shake. a fair try. I do. I follow instructions. I play it right, and that's fair. If you're gonna say something special about the game and say whether good or bad or whatever, you gotta be correct with it. That's like building a deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just all, normal monsters with nothing else. Losing every match and they say Yu-Gi-Oh's trash. It's like you didn't engage. You only engaged with 1/3 of the game and you used those 1/3 incorrectly. Where's your spells? Where's your traps? What synergy do you got going on? What is even your deck build? Right? You gotta do it right. And so then I went into the comment section. And I saw, a supporter, someone who I've known for a long time, put out a comment basically saying, basically what I'm thinking, which is they agree with Leland. They want to see it, and, they enjoy Back for Blood. They say it's a great game. I'm looking at the original comment right now that they made, and nowhere here did they even mention Left 4 Dead 2. So it's not even like they were doing Left 4 Dead 2 slander. You know how gaming cults are. You slander their favorite game, they come after you, even to the point where they might even hit you with a death threat. He said, strongly agree with Leland. Go back and play Back for Blood properly, in all caps. No mark with the force impossible difficulty in dying on the first level. Back for Blood is one of the best zombie games with tons of action, replayability, and it's up there with the best like Aliens, Fireteam Elite, and Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. Also, other awesome games I love. I love Aliens, Fireteam Elite, and I really enjoy Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. I'm the best psyker in the world, and I'm also playing the Arbitrator, and I'm also playing the Skitaria of the Adeptus Mechanicus, right? And I agree. I think Back 4 Blood is also one of the best zombie games right now. I think number 1 is Dead Island 2, easily. And then number 2, I'll probably give it to Back 4 Blood, right? Either way, hold those games in, high regards, which is fair. And then the trolls show up. And they're like the worthless trolls. They're not even like the funny ones. The ones who are just there. This one guy I'm not giving no credit. I'm not even going to show the comment. This guy came in, and I made sure to do a quick check to see what kind of person he is. He's the type of troll that is like chronic online loser. I don't know how boring or lame their real lives are, because the person who's lives in the comment section. Like let's say there'll be like 100 comments. They're replying to like 40 of those comments. And they're targeting the 40 who have an opinion that they disagree with, and they're just starting arguments and fights with each one, and then they're replying and going back and forth with that person. Like, it'll be a Saturday, they spend their Saturday going back and forth with these people. Those are the worthless trolls I'm talking about. So already these people are just trash. They're not normal. It's not like a normal person who like when I was having this honest conversation with this guy about Dragon Age the Veilguard, where he disagreed with me, and we honestly had a honest back and forth. There was no insults, no snarkiness, no disrespect. He said his thing, I said my thing, and and what was sad is he disappeared eventually, and I was actually having a good conversation with the guy. I wanted him to come back, but he disappeared. I guess he had things to do, maybe whatever. Hope he's well. God knows where he is, and I hope he's safe, and and it's with Jesus Christ. But like stuff like that. Like, it was like these people are just here for the trouble and the drama. And they don't even have a channel where it's like, hello, I'm gaslighting volume 2, 100,000 views. Like, nothing. They're doing it for free. That's just, talk about trash, right? Talk about trash. Let me see this. Check that out later. Right? And so this is the first comment from this troll. He says, Back 4 Blood is horrible. So as you can see, we still got the hate for Back 4 Blood. Just like we still have the hate for Starfield. We still have the hate for Dragon Age the Veilguard. We still got the hate for Suicide Squad Kill Justice League. These people don't know how to move on. It's funny that these games have so much power over their lives. This guy said, Back 4 Blood is horrible. Let's read the whole thing first. Left 4 Dead 2. So notice, he brings up Left 4 Dead 2. And the video that, the homie commented under, the one I know, commented under, it wasn't even a Left 4 Dead video. It is where's the title here? Yeah, No More Room in Hell 2. So Left 4 Dead is not even in the picture. This guy brings it up, so he's thinking about it. Says, Back 4 Blood is horrible. Left 4 Dead 2 has way more replayability than the game that prioritizes quantity over quality. And one of the best zombie games, he's quoting when he said that, one of the best zombie games, is an outright lie than like a stupid, edgy, dumb teenager on the internet. He puts LMAO, as it was supposed to stand for laughing my ass off. And it goes, B4Bs, as in Back 4 Blood, Glazers, so Glazers, he's insulting, can't be real. Okay, so he's already condescending, he's disrespectful, he's insulting. So I got no reason to respect this dickhead. So let's break down what he said right here, and I'm about to go into these things. I'm going to once again objectively show these idiots don't know what they're talking about. Let's start with we'll get to the first part. We'll get to the second part. He says Left 4 Dead 2 has way more replayability than basically Back 4 Blood. That's false. That's just objectively false. When people talk about Left 4 Dead 2, especially now, they're talking about modded versions. It's always mods. It's like they're talking about mods. They're not talking about vanilla base form Goku, base form Left 4 Dead 2. It's like when these people were comparing Skyrim to day one release Starfield. It's like, sucker, compare day one release Starfield to day one Skyrim. No fixes, no patches, no mods, no expand, no, just day one. Do you guys remember day one Skyrim? Sucker, that was trash. All right? How about we do it? But they don't want to do that. So it's always modded things in Left 4 Dead 2. And there's some crazy mods that's been going on with that game, right? That's external stuff. That's not the game itself. So we're talking about what the game is, the standard game, and what you get with the game. And when you compare it, it doesn't have more replayability. You play it, you go through the levels, and once you go through the levels, you're done. The only other thing you can then do is like do it, let's say, at the hardest difficulty, and that's it. And you can't be like, oh, I'm going to play different characters. The characters don't matter because it was back then, old gaming in the past. Every character does the exact same thing. So the replayability is a lie. In Back 4 Blood, for starters, you have different characters. And unlike Left 4 Dead, these characters in Back 4 Blood actually have abilities. So the character you pick actually matters. Whether you're Coach or not, because Coach is the only character in Left 4 Dead that matters. Reloading, right? Is the only one that matters. You're the same all around. Even though you're a big dude like Coach, or you're the woman, you don't have like smaller health pool or faster speed because she's a lady, or nothing like that. For example, if we look at Evangelo, the homie, got him this cool skin. It says, Evangelo can quickly break out of grabs once every 60 seconds. He has plus 25% stamina regeneration, and he has a team effect. Benefits the team. Look at this. 5% team move speed. And if I'm now Walker, right? It says mutations that Walker pings are highlighted and deal 10% reduced damage. So if you let Walker ping a boss, for example, that boss is doing 10% less damage. That tall boy is doing 10% less damage. All that kind of stuff. He himself has a plus 10% damage. So he's doing more damage than the whole cast just by being him. And his team effect, plus 10 team health. So the whole team gets a buff of more health. That's slightly more tanky. So just from that alone, there's replayability. Let me play through this entire act as Evangelo. Then my next run, I'll play through the entire act as Walker. Then I'll play as Holly, and then I'll play as Mom. And that's her name. I'm not talking about my mother. Her name is, she's just nicknamed Mom. So everybody just calls her Mom, which is always funny. So like, for example, Holly, who's like the youngest girl here, Clay, she does baseball. She looks like she's like university and stuff like that. She's getting healed by like Mom. She's like, thanks, Mom. And then she's like, oh, that felt kind of right. Like, it was like, hey, you're just saying, thanks, Mom. And like, you know what I'm saying? While she's bandaging up, like she's bandaging up her daughter or something like that. It's actually kind of cute. I like that, right? Like, you calling someone Mom. Like, what a name, bro. And she truly does love her children. Like, she lost her son, if you know the story and stuff like that, fighting the ridden. So she's obviously a bit sensitive about that, but she does care. Like, her heart is definitely the right place, but she is tough, right? So already, you have more replayability. You know what else Back 4 Blood has? Decks. They have decks. They have builds. And these cards change everything. Again, Left 4 Dead 2, bare bones simple. You're all the same. It doesn't matter. You can be a naked guy. It makes no difference. Whereas Back 4 Blood, you can have cards. And there's a card where it's like, it says, if you're crouching, you do 0, what's the official term for it again? Oh my goodness. Friendly fire. That's it. You know how you always hurt each other when you shoot them? This is in Left 4 Dead. This is in Back 4 Blood. If you're crouching, you have this card activated. You're crouching. When you're firing, you do no team damage. You can't hurt your team. Whereas melee weapon, guns, whatever, you can't harm them. Right? And then when you use these cards, you can stack them and make builds. So not only can you do a run playing as each individual character, so you do it as Evangela, you do it as Walker, you do it as Harley, you do it as Mom, then for each one of these guys, you can then make a whole different build for each one. So I've made a build where I'm all offensive weapons. Offensive weapon counts as things like that a jar of pus, you throw it and it attracts the swarm to that location. Not like in Left 4 Dead, if the biler or that tall skinny thing and it vomits on you and it's like, oh, now you're attracted to the horde because it's got the goo on you. That thing. You throw it, the horde goes towards it, it's distraction. Is it smoke grenade? There's pipe bomb, grenades, molotovs. They all count as, I think, as offensive weapons. So this offensive build allows me to stack up. So I can have like 6 pipe bombs. Can you imagine that? 6 pipe bombs. And how much harder Back 4 Blood is? You think that's overpowered? No, sometimes you need these stuff, especially at the highest difficulty. You need overpowered stuff, right? Can you imagine one ally? Can you imagine if you play Left 4 Dead 2, someone has 6 pipe bombs? Sucker the whole game easy, bro. I had 6 grenades, or I had 6 pipe bombs. I decided to try 6 molotovs, and then because of the build, it's easy for me to acquire more offensive weapons, and they do more damage, and when I use it, I gain temporary health. Like, it's synergy. It's like you're low-key playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With time, like, the decks you can build. Then I also got a deck that's just all about firepower. No neon, but it's just firepower. Any gun, I'm just firing my bullets at the highest penetration, the most damage, the most stopping power, the most, like, I got so much accuracy, reload speed is crazy. It says, bop, 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 bop. With one bullet from my assault rifles, I'm downing riddance. No headshots needed. I'm just shredding them hoes, right? Then I've got a build where it's all about money. I'm all money. Like, can you imagine Mark playing this build? Right, how he's talking about cash money and like, what's it, Cash Lord and all that stuff. He's the Cap Lord, but you know, Cash Lord, all that stuff, right? I get money easier. I gain more money. I gamble with the money, like not lose it, but like I can give a buff to my team depending on if I'm collecting money, like the coin flips and there's a head. The more money I have, I get bonus money. With the more money I have, there's also potion damage I can do, and with all that money, I can buy all the upgrades and stuff I need to make myself the most overpowered. So I'm the weakest, the most vulnerable, most useless, but because I get so much money and all these effects, I end up becoming the most overpowered, all the abilities of my teammates combined character, right? So there's a money build. Then there's a build where I'm literally the freaking doctor, where I have my med kits are better. Don't you dare heal yourselves. Let me heal you. You'll get benefits with it. While I'm healing, I can't be staggered. I get like a defensive boost and stuff like that. I can heal and remove trauma, because trauma is this permanent health damage that takes away from your maximum health and brings you down. So the medic is also good at that. So I can deal with trauma. I can deal with, wounds. You get more from me and these benefits, and there's a lot. So you literally can be the medic for your team. And then I also got a melee build. And it's best when I equip it with the Wolverine claws. I like it to have Wolverine or Freddy Krueger, whichever one you re-rep it, Robert Englund, whatever, right? And I'm just like slash, 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 slash. Like, blood's everywhere. Blood in my face, blood in my mouth. Spit it back out. It's infected blood, right? Just slash it. And as I'm slashing and killing, I'm healing myself. And I'm also healing my surrounding teammates. That's crazy, right? So already, how is this idiot, this stupid, worthless troll, and I'm not going to respect him, because trolls, if you're just a troll, your purpose is just to harass and troll people on the internet. You are worthless. Obviously, God has given you a purpose. You're just not fulfilling that purpose. So you're pretending and acting like you're worthless. So I'll just call you that. Right? What's to say, Left 4 Dead 2 has more replayability. The fact that these characters have abilities, and you have cards to build a variety of decks to play in completely different ways, meaning you automatically have more playability with Back 4 Blood. So he's objectively wrong. There's no debate here. And they said prioritizes quantity over quality. Back 4 Blood is quantity and quality. Back 4 Blood has better animations. Left 4 Dead 2 and 1 has crappy animations. The infected all run basically the same way. It's the same frame animations. The attacking is the same small frame animations. And by the way, I'm a game developer. I recognize some of these things, right? So don't try and be a random loser to try and tell me about game design. Don't do it, right? It's simple like that. Like, Back 4 Blood has better sounds, visuals, graphics. I'll even dare say, I'll say like performance overall. Yeah, at launch there's some issues, but all these modern games now, because of how ambitious they are in their product, when they launch, they have issues. That's nothing new, and things get cleaned up. Some things you don't even notice while you're making the game, and I've been there, Like I missed an obvious like mistake in my game that I was developing. I gave it to someone for testing, and they point out to me and they recognize it straight away. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not see that? Mistakes can be made, right? And I don't judge games by bugs. To say, oh, this game is bad because there's some bugs and stuff like that is stupid. And you know what? Because the bugs are obviously not supposed to be there. They're not intentional, right? They're mistakes and they can easily get ironed out with a patch. Like, if the game was working as intended, is the game good or bad then? The bugs does not determine if it is like, a good or bad game, right? And I'm not the one who says that. Even Markiplier said that, which I brought it up before. When he was playing the Callisto Protocol. He was talking about a little few like graphical bugs. And it's like, I'm not going to judge the game or review it off of that. It's like, they will just patch it. A patch will come in day 1, day 2. And then when it's gone, you see the game working as intended. ABC. Markiplier was basically saying what I've been saying. I don't judge these games to give them a 1 out of 5 stars in the Xbox store because there were some bugs that launch like grouchy old men. No, I'm far more merciful to these games. These bugs are obviously mistakes. They can get ironed out. So I'm not even going to hold Left 4 Dead for its bugs, right? I'm not even going to do that because at launch, we already know the problems Left 4 Dead had, but let's not get into that. People tend to forget that's even a thing. They move past that and be like, nah, man, that never happened. But other games, as soon as they have bugs, hang this game, lazy devs. How can they release this? It's like, oh, but where was the mercy you had for your games back in the day? You see, it's the people that's changed. It's the people, them. But anywho, and he wants to talk about so yeah, in terms of quality, Back 4 Blood has better quality, animation, visuals, graphics, characters, quality. Like weapons, sounds. Like the combat, more mechanics, more ways to play, more replayability. That's quality. And if it's quantity, don't pretend like quality is a bad thing. I've seen idiots say that lately, especially when it comes to modern games. Quantity, gamers always complain about quantity. Some people abandon games because there's not enough content. Yeah, people all the time saying this game's not worth $50. There's not enough in this game to be worth $70. That's all talking about quantity. People want more of this, more of that. Oh, things are not happening. We ain't getting no seasons. There's no battle pass. There's no like things to work towards. There's there's no nothing. The people are like, oh, it's lacking content. Comparing some of these newer games to Fortnite, which has had many years of content, all this kind of stuff. So people are always talking about quantity. So talk about here, like putting quantity. Like quantity is the bad thing here. Is no, you all want your quantity. That's what you all complain about, literally. So, knock that off. Like, knock that off right now. That's some nonsense from these people. I'm not going to hear it from them. I'm definitely not going to hear it from them. So, we knocked that out the way. And quantity, Back 4 Blood has far more quantity than Left 4 Dead 2. It's not even close. Remember I was naming characters and I said Evangelo, Walker, Harley, and Mom? That's 4 characters. So they're even Left 4 Dead 2, right? Wrong. There's 4 more characters. There's Doc, Hoffman, Jim, and Carly. So that's 8. 2 more characters. And remember, each of these guys have their own effects and skills. So more replayability, a more quality game. And you know what? I named 4 more characters. That's 8. Guess what? It's not 8. They added more. There's 12. So the others are Heng, Charisse, Prophet Dan, and Tala. 12 characters. There's your quantity right there with the quality, because these characters do look cool, especially when I got these cool skins for them and stuff like that. They're epic. And each of them has their own effects, skills, and starting weapons. Even starting weapons that they bring. Evangelo starts off with the machete. Which Walker's got the Glock 23. Harley's got the bat, which is the spikes. Mom's got the Belgian. Dark has got the Beretta M9. Hoffman's got the M1911. Jim has the 357 Magnum. Carly's got the Tech 9. Hang has the hatchet. Charisse has the fire axe. Prophet Dan has the Desert Eagle. And Tala has a bow, which is like basically infinite ammo. And they all have their own effects. Like Dark, who's the natural medic. Dark can heal each teammate for 25 health once per level. So a free heal. She has 15% healing efficiency, so let her do the healing. And team effects, 20% team trauma resistance. Sounds like the perfect person to play as the Dark. Hoffman. Hoffman has a chance to find ammo or an offensive accessory whenever he kills a Ridden. And you're killing a lot of Ridden. So good chance he might just find a grenade. I used him for the offensive build because he has +1 offensive inventory. So additional slot. And then team effects. 15% max team ammo capacity just from having Hoffman on your team. And then you got some wild ones as well. For example, you got Tala. It says Tala's attacks cause targets to bleed. So she's good against bosses. They start bleeding. Anti-boss. This Tala. It says Jeff the friendly tall boy can be called by anyone with his whistle. So having her on the team, you can find the whistle, and if you call it, it's literally as it says. A friendly tall boy who can't hurt you, you can't hurt him, comes in, he starts smashing the zombies in the ridden, the same way the tall boy tries to smash you in the squad. No, that's smash and pass. I mean smash literally. And look at that. Team effects. 1 warped chest and whistle spawn in each map. So you get a guaranteed tall boy whistle, and you get a warped chest, which is huge because those can end up holding some of the most craziest items, buffs, and items and buffs and buffs and items and buffs. So she's gold on your team. So talk about replayability. 12 characters with their own effects, and you can create different decks that suit them. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't. This is crazy. This is value and quantity. Now, let's get into a bit more proving. Let's get into a bit more proving, right? Because this guy also says, and one of the best zombie games is an outright lie. Back 4 Blood glazes can't be real. Back 4 Blood can't be glazes for the most part because we were more like in the minority. Well, our voices were smaller. Everyone from idiots like Angry Joe and his followers to the Axeman scumbags like him and others or just brainwash the lower IQ population to just believe them. And it's automatically just held online as a fail. People talk about reception from the public. They deem it as a flop and a fail. So we are spoiled. People were speaking up for their game. They were speaking up for the game. And when they speak about the game, they don't sound like glazers. They just sound like regular gamers who are enjoying the game and saying what they like about the game. And then they get pounced on and attacked for it. And we're about to go over some of the stuff. Because this is a podcast episode, so you already know I got a lot of things to say. And this is going to be a longer one, which is cool. I know some of y'all are like, man, Earthwalker, you know we ain't want to hear what you got to say, man. You know, you the best. Okay, first of all, calm down. Now, that's glaze right there. Y'all need to just calm down a little bit. You know, just a little bit. But let's get into it. I'm going to prove right now his first statement, Back 4 Blood, is horrible. This told me straight away, you know, but he's an idiot. We know this is false. I got the receipts. I got the link right here. If you know the reference, let me know. That's a tough one. Now, Back 4 Blood, you have to remember this. You have to go back to the 2021 days. Critics back then, the gaming critics, the gaming media outlets, stuff like that, they had more credibility back then. Because from 2022, late 2022, but definitely 2023, Starfield, right? Xbox making moves, or Xbox tax and all that kind of stuff. They became obviously biased, hateful, some of them clearly getting that PlayStation paycheck. So they were just hating everybody, especially groups like IGN. Kotaku was always trash. The show was Eurogamer and stuff like that. PC Gamer back then had more credibility. Now they're garbage and part of the Xbox tax. All right, the new writers are trash. A lot of them stupid. Right, so back then they were more fair. Back then they had more credibility. But even so, professional critics and reviewers still has more more authoritative and have more credibility and experience than like random trolls and idiots on the internet, right? You go to a restaurant and you know you want to hear and you try this out. You can ask your family. You know and trust your family more because you know them personally, but they're not professional food critics. And you know them. It depends on how much faith you put in your family. You might have that grandpa who's picky with absolutely everything he's got an issue with, right? But food critics, and you can still disagree because remember, just because they're a professional reviewer critic, it doesn't mean they're always right. Authors have made mistakes with their books. People who've made characters have failed to power scale them correctly and have shown like objective mistakes, right? People who even make games have made errors or made something. Let's say just because you're the maker of it or even a reviewer, you're not 100% correct. You feel free to disagree with reviewers. I've disagreed with them before, but I'm saying since this is their job, they've had that credibility. They have more credibility than online people who just talk about nostalgia and vibes and feelings and all that nonsense, right? So let's just get into this. Let's see if this game is horrible like these tools say. I went to one of the things was Open Critic, right? They have these tallies and stuff like that. 139 critics. 139 critics. And the overall rating for Back 4 Blood with those 139 critics, it was rated strong. It's a strong game. Not medium, not weak. So already, it's not a horrible game. They didn't even just say bad game. They said horrible game. 139 critics. And the rating is still strong. Now, from the 139 critics, for the top critics, it was average. They had a score of 76. Average. Right? So the lower ones drag it down. The higher ones bring it up. 76. 76 means it's a great game. Yes, it is. You have to remember the scoring system. Because we live in a day and age now where if your game does not score a 90 and above, your game is considered bad or fail or slop or whatever. We've seen it online. Like games that get a score of 80 are now considered bad as well or mid. And it's like, that's how you know you're dealing with idiots. That's just so stupid. It's incredibly stupid. These are great games. Can you like believe it? Can you believe it? If you know the reference, let me know, right? So 76, and you know 76 is good. Because just convert that again, I like to use this example of exam scores. Think about it. The test is out of 100, right? Right? If your child or you scored 76 out of 100, would you say that's a horrible score or a bad score? No, 76 out of 100 is a B. And it's not just B, since it's over 75, it's a strong B. It's a B grade. B grade is good. That's good. Is it the best they can get? No. Is it the worst they can get? No. It's good. Sucking these exams, 40%, which is a grade E, is a pass. D is 50%. C is 60%. B is 70%. A is 80. A star is 90. And then there's 100 out of 100 for perfect. Only a few games have gotten a score of like 100, like Starfield. Deserved, by the way. Right? So 76 means it's a great game. My rate has always been, if it's a 5 out of 10, it just means the game is alright. It's alright. 6 out of 10, good. 7 out of 10, great. 8 out of 10, excellent. 9 out of 10, fantastic. 10 out of 10, perfect / near perfect. So how can you then say it's a horrible game? That's why I did not take this stupid troll seriously. Because by you saying this game is a horrible game, not that the game's not for me, I didn't like the game. Because your subjective feelings is different from the objectiveness of it. They're separate things. They're games that I think are great, but I don't like them. They're games that I think are well made, but I personally find them boring. But I'd never say they're bad games, because that's false. They're great games, it's just not for me. Or I just personally don't like it. Separate the two. So we already proved it's not a horrible game. 139 critics, and these people actually have some form of renown, qualification, experience, whatever it is. Rather or this random stupid troll. So let's get more into it. Let's get it, because we know it's not a bad game. Oh, by the way, people want to talk about Left 4 Dead 2 has a better story. That's a lie. Quote to this. Look at this quote. According to the development team, Back 4 Blood has a more expanded story than Left 4 Dead games. So even developers have said that. And it's obvious. What's the story in Left 4 Dead 2? How do we get here on this rooftop? We gotta get out of here. Let's make our way over here from A to B. Gotcha. Reloading. That's the story. Alright, come on. Back 4 Blood has way more going on. So story, yeah, is better than Back 4 Blood. And again, with some games, you don't really need a story. So I'm not gonna hold Left 4 Dead for that. Because it's just zombie survival. The action is the zombies and the weapons and all this kind of stuff. But people have brought up story. I'm like, stories in a zombie game? This isn't Dying Light. This isn't Dead Island. But if you want to bring up stories, Back 4 Blood wins. Right? So we have that right there. And one more funny thing before I get more into these reviews. This troll was so pathetic. He had another troll back him up to support. I know, like I said, thieves defend and support thieves. Murderers defend murderers. Pedophiles defend pedophiles. Trolls will defend trolls. So it fits the pattern, right? This troll even joined in with him to make fun of me, calling us like old heads, because I commented as well. He called us old heads and taco comments. Again, belittling and insulting and stuff like that. And then the troll who was like, holding the other troll's cock in his hand, he didn't realize what I said was right, that this troll is stupid. Because the troll eventually started to list a bunch of games, zombie games that he called trash along with Back 4 Blood. And the troll who was backing him up, even he turned on the original troll. He was like, whoa, I gotta stop you right there. He says, I was with you until you listed, and you listed the games that, he thinks are good. He said, these games as trash. He said, they're not trash. And he was like, what did one named? Dead Rise. He's like, even Dead Rise. He said, I grew up with those games. Those games are fire. So, apparently, the troll realized this troll doesn't know what he's talking about either. But you were just blindly backing him 4 comments ago. And now you saw what I called from the start. He's an idiot. He has called all these games, even good zombie games, he called them bad. You see what I'm talking about? They're stupid. So even they had a little clash right there. And I just found that funny. But the second troll proved my point as well, that these guys are just nostalgia. Because his reason for why Dead Rising is good wasn't story, wasn't Frank West, wasn't every time you level up. No, not any of those stuff. He said, I grew up with that game. So the answer is nostalgia, just like I said. And then he wanted to complain when I said, oh, you just say we're nostalgia and that this game is boring. It's like, well, you just proved me right. Your defense for, I just almost said Just Cause, not Just Cause. Dead Rising is, you grew up with it. So you was a dumb kid who played that game. It was exciting to you. So therefore, it's one of the best things ever. Sorry, dude, that does not make it one of the best games just because you grew up with the game. People do that with Halo. People do that with Skyrim. They grew up with the game. So as a child, you're more easily impressed. You had more free time. Maybe had friends come over. And these experiences, it's all nostalgia and memories, bro. But if you look at those games objectively by today's standards, they're not great like that. Not like that. That's good at the time. Not for today's standards, all right? We already talked about nostalgia and the people who say combat evolved is better than campaign evolved. We already handled that and crushed that, right? So I wanted to bring that up. Like, even another troll found the original troll stupid as well. He just yapped and he tried to backpedal on all this kind of stuff. It was pathetic because this one supporter was kind of calling him out. Like, hold on now you've gone too far. You've called these good zombie games trash. You wrong for that. So they were beefing and I just let them beef for a bit, man. So it shows how stupid they are. So I already know the game's been rated strong. Has an average of 76 score from the 139 critics. Gamer Revolution gave it an 8 out of 10. Is 8 out of 10 a horrible game, guys? Because when you say horrible games, you're talking about games like Code Violet, Quantum Error, Superman 64. What was it? Skull Island, The Return of Kong or Rise of Kong, that beat 'em up King Kong game that had so many issues. Are you saying... Are you like what? Lord of the Rings Gollum? People called Vol's horrible game. You're saying Back 4 Blood is down there with them. You've lost your dang mind. So Game Revolution gave it an 8 out of 10. Let's go to Inverse. Inverse gave it a score of 9 out of 10. And they said Back 4 Blood is a zombie slaying romp that never gets old. So that means it's got some replayability. Uh-huh. Where is it? What was it? It says in the cards. Has the final verdict. Back 4 Blood features everything you want out of a zombie game. Intense moment-to-moment gameplay. Clever level design. Variety from run to run. There actually is variety. And memorable characters in a campy story. It's a perfect fit for Xbox Game Pass. So definitely check it out if you've been desperate for some to scratch that Left 4 Dead itch. He says, but just ignore the terrible PvP mode. Yeah, at launch, the PvP, it wasn't there, bro. Later on, update, yes, it has 8 players PvP going on. And they gave a score of 9 out of 10. Let's go to trusted reviews. The verdict. I like when they put the verdict at the top. I like to give my quick verdict at the top in my G blogs as well, gaming blog posts. Not to waste people's time. Just let people know whether I think the game is amazing or not, bad or not, whatever. And then I go into the details and stuff like that. So I do respect trusted reviews for this. Remember, these are olden days reviews. Back when I had more credibility, 2021. Verdict: Back 4 Blood is an excellent co-op zombie shooter with a card-based perk system and wonderfully satisfying gunplay. So Angry Joe's an idiot. Gunplay building upon the fantastic foundations of the Left 4 Dead series. So it's built upon it. It's above Left 4 Dead. But if you're planning on playing solo, it says you may want to stay clear with a design clearly optimized for multiplayer. And that's why I disagree. It's not optimized for multiplayer. It's just optimized. You play it solo. I'm not going to lie. Solo, I have a lot of fun. The bots are some of the best bots in gaming from what I've experienced. Again, if you're playing on the PC inferior race, you're going to have an inferior experience. PCs always have the worst experience when it comes to these things. More bugs, more problems, more crashes. You get smoother, more stable on console. That's a fact. And the NPCs, they be highlighting enemies before I can even see them, so you can take down the special one. They be calling out food cans and foods. They be calling out coins and stuff for me and all this stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the NPCs are actually useful. In a lot of cases, I found them more helpful than real players. I'm not gonna lie. What other game can you say right now where the NPCs in the co-op game are better than real players? I can't think of one off the top of my head. So that should tell you all you need to know right there. But that's his the verdict from Trusted Reviews. They gave it 4 stars out of 5. So basically another 8 out of 10. Let's go to another one. PC Gamer, back when they used to be good. PC Gamer by Morgan Park. 9 hours in, Back 4 Blood is bloody brilliant. I see what you did there. Right, let's go for it. Where is it? I want to get down to their verdict where they just like, sum it up. But boy, they typed a lot. Gosh dang. All right. Back 4 Blood is a big game. I haven't finished the first act of 4. It's clear I'm just now getting into the meat of it. I feel I've already played 1.5 Left 4 Deads in that time. Wow. Size difference. So map variety probably won't be an issue this time around. Yeah, see, he even mentioned that it doesn't have the mod stuff going, the mod scene, like with Left 4 Dead. He even mentions that that's what carrying Left 4 Dead to this day was the mods. So not the game itself, the mods. So he even mentioned that. What you call it? Oh, he ended there. Oh, he's gonna do a part. He must have done a part 2, something like that. Ends it there, but describes it very well, speaks incredibly good at it. I mean, even says here is. It's a lot of better friends. Of course, yeah, it would be great with friends. Campaign, offer. Yeah. All right. Polygon. They said Back 4 Blood is more than just Left 4 Dead. Let's go, what you call it? Let's get to the, just like their verdict. You know where they sum it up. That's better. It says, I'm trying to find it. Where they just give a summary. Is every time I start to feel bored by the classic Left 4 Dead formula, Back 4 Blood will do something like hit me with a stealth level or ask me to build my own safe room. Left 4 Dead 2 had a level where you needed to fill up a race car and more with gas so you could escape. And it's still the one I remember most vividly. The Left 4 Dead series had other similar sequences, but they were mostly reserved for the big finales of the chapters. Back 4 Blood hit me with that variety on a regular basis and kept me engaged even when I was playing with random players or bots. Sure. I'm just trying to find I saved the link, so I'm on it, but it's like I'm trying to find, where it is, man. Oh, can't find it right now. Yeah, can't find it right now. But they said it's more, and then you've got Tech Radar. Is the Back 4 Blood is well worth the wait, but it's not Left 4 Dead free. That's an important distinction. Their verdict is 4.5 stars out of 5. Back 4 Blood captures much of what we all loved about Left 4 Dead while updating it with more modern gaming trends that helps keep the content fresh. But it might not be what some are looking for if you're hoping for a direct sequel to Left 4 Dead 2. It's not a direct sequel, and it isn't supposed to be a direct sequel. The Back 4 Blood is a spiritual successor to the acclaimed Left 4 Dead Xbox and PC franchise of the aughts, but it definitely deserves to stand on its own, in its own right, as one of the best games of the year. And in many ways, you're better off not thinking about the game's pedigree at all if you really want to enjoy all that it has to offer. Is in terms of the best co-op games, we really can't think of another game right now that is as much fun to play with your friends. And the game's surprising degree of replayability is a testament to the thought and care that went into the game design and mechanics. It stays fresh to play, even if it's your umpteenth time through the campaign. Yeah, but this idiot says it's a horrible game. He says it's a horrible game. Does that sound like a horrible game? And not only that, let's get a little bit more into it. This game is so horrible, it was nominated for awards, multiple times. Let's look at this. I mean, it was, it was nominated for Best Multiplayer. It also was nominated for Best Action Game, Best Multiplayer Game. And it was also nominated for Online Game of the Year as well. So Golden Joystick recognized it. The Game Awards recognized it. And even DICE recognized it as well. So this is apparently such a horrible game, guys. It's rated strong. Had an average from 139 critics of 76. Described as above Left 4 Dead. Said it's Left 4 Dead plus more. It described as bloody brilliant. Getting 9 out of 10, 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, which is 9 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s. Bloody brilliant. Is more than just Left 4 Dead. One of the best games of the year. No other co-op games on the same level as of its time, 2021. There's other new games today like Towerborn and stuff like that. All these things are said about the game. So objectively, like I said, and even as a game dev as well, I'm a game dev, Back 4 Blood is a better game than Left 4 Dead. And the troll then wanted to bring up, and he said that the best zombie game of all time, he said was Left 4 Dead 2. And then he said second place was Project Zomboid. And I said, oh, this guy's trash. Project Zomboid? Are we serious? That game is boring as all heck. I understand what the game is supposed to be and simulate. Sucker, The Sims is better than Project Zomboid. And The Sims is excellent. I play Herb Sims in the City. I played, Sims 2, 3, 4. And Sims is probably the most expansion built game of all time. It has DLCs, packs, Halloween pack, spooky pack, Christmas pack, Easter pack, this pack, that pack, gambling with death pack, spying on your neighbors pack, vegetation pack 1 to 9. Like, The Sims is crazy, actually. It's a game that stands in its own area and dominates its own field by itself, kind of like Pokemon in a way. Crazy. But for this guy to say Project Zomboid was better than Dead Rising, Dying Light, Dead Island, Back 4 Blood, no. Very few people honestly really know Project Zomboid like that at all. There are people who still don't know what it is. And when I looked at the game, how simple it is, and top down, walking around, and terrible hitboxing, then you're just shoving this zombie, and then he's on the floor, then you're stamping on him, he bites you, you're running, and you're relying heavy on role play and stuff like that. Yeah, if you're going to say Project Zomboid is a better game, and subjectively, that's just straight up just wrong. Oh my gosh. Like, Project Zomboid, and then this guy, again, the troll being so dumb, showing that he doesn't know anything about me, he doesn't know what he's talking about, says, oh, you think Project Zomboid is boring because you're old. You just have to play games where something is always happening on the screen and there's action everywhere. No, you're describing RDC, all right? You're not describing me. I play, as I talked about in our genre discrimination episode, I'm against gaming genre discrimination. I play games of every genre if they're good. So even the games where there's no action at all. For example, I'm a fan of Coffee Talk. There's no action in that game at all. You just read text, listen to character story, and then serve them coffee or drinks at your coffee shop as a barista. That's your action right there. The peak action is me serving someone a matcha. I'm making you an Americano. I'm making you Russian tea. I'm making you a Tetetic. I'm making you a Jahi Tublak. I'm making you a Zoba tea. I'm making you, hibiscus or butterfly. That's action. I play games like Slay the Princess, the Pristine Card, where you don't actually have any real gameplay. You're just selecting options and reading what's happening. I've played slower games, dude. Don't talk like you know me, you little idiot. You trash. You only can do games where it's just action. I play games all the time. Sucker, I play The Sims. So these people, these trolls, they just yap. They don't know what they're talking about. You don't know me. I don't need just action all the time. Otherwise, I think the game's not lit. Sucker, no. I know my attention span's not TikTok. I read books, dude. I read books. I bet you haven't read a book in 20 years. Read the back of a cereal box. Or read one panel of One Punch Man, and that's it. Y'all call that reading. Stop it. These people are so dumb. But Project Zomboid. Dude. That game. Boring as all heck, bro. Stop it. Stop it. You put Project Zomboid the second best zombie game of all time. That impression doesn't even know what Project Zomboid is, bro. It sounds like a movie. So I found this cool thread. I remember, I think I read this one before. I found it. It's on Steam community. Back for Blood. This guy titled it, "This game is actually good." He says, TR has stated they will return to the game someday. So this is back in the day. And I'm not abandoning it, so everyone just needs to stop spreading misinformation. He said, Left 4 Dead was okay, but if we are being honest, it was pretty janky. The only thing it has going for it compared to Back 4 Blood is the fact that you can PvP on campaigns. We have PvP now in Back 4 Blood. It says, like it did not even allow you to aim. It says, this game is a gem. A full campaign and can be a little long, but other than that, it's great. Plenty of cards to play with for different builds, something like 10 different characters, 12 right now, with each having unique stats. That's true. He said, everyone who's just jumping on the hate bandwagon should be ashamed of yourselves for not just looking at the game without Left 4 Dead in mind or TR's past failures. And he said Evolve. Okay, Evolve was a fun game, so you leave Evolve out of it. TCTR Turtle Rock. Right? This guy responded and says, you cannot reason with these people. He said, they make it seem as if Left 4 Dead was perfect. He said, but last time I've played, I've seen the tank moonwalk towards people and spit acid hitting me like 3 feet away from its puddle. The game still has plenty of bugs. I find it hilarious how they cry for Back 4 Blood fixes but completely tolerate Left 4 Dead bugs. If that's not clear fanboyism and bias, I don't know what is. It is fanboyism and bias. It really is. Another thing is Valve doesn't need to do anything. The community does their job for them, which I just find absurd, to be honest. Valve profiting off people just laying on the couch doing nothing while people praise them for Left 4 Dead, neither before them. Oh, thank you, Valve, for the opportunity to let us do your job for you. I'm not gonna lie, the community with the mods, they carry the game. They did. It's the mods. I told you, it's the mods. It's not the game itself, really. The game was fun for a while, especially back then when they had nothing else like it. Nostalgia. It says, is it indeed even the recent patch added a lot of details? It seems to be all of the campaigns. Yep. This guy says, Left 4 Dead followers live in their own world. You can't argue with these people. These guys argue like that. Why do we need smartphones? We have telephones. It's total dumb and out of context. No, but they be like that though. So I've seen some stuff. In its glory time, it was a good game. The only game PvP, PvE zombie shooter. For today, it's totally outdated and doesn't compare with new games. Also true. It says also a lot of people don't know anything else because it was the only game on the market such a long time. And that's what I was saying about. Same with like Skyrim, even Halo and stuff. It's like, what other game was like those games at that time? So Left 4 Dead was obviously a big thing because what other game was like that? So it had its own area. It dominated in that area. It did its own thing. It's like Dark Souls 1 did its thing in its era at its time. But let's be honest, Dark Souls 1 is trash. By today's standards, Dark Souls 1, oh, it's torture. I'm not playing that. You play better games like Elden Ring, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Lords of the Fallen, and then you go play Dark Souls 1? Not even a remaster. Original Dark Souls 1? Oh, you're gonna hit depression, mate. And people want to say that's one of the best games ever made. 10 out of 10, perfect. Perfect where? Right? It's nostalgia. Because Left 4 Dead, it came with context. It was the only thing at this time. And the people will just like talk about it. There's a lot of people here who really liked it. Then you have like trolls coming in who are just being like, oh my goodness, just coming in just hating. They're not even showing up like objectively about it or anything like that. It's just straight up, they just out here just wanting to argue. Okay. I'm just trying to say there's one of these other things that was indeed important. This guy says, Left 4 Dead 2 is a fun game, and I believe with friends it is fun. He says, and I keep revisiting it all the time. It keeps bringing him back. He says, but after 2 to 3 hours, he says, it gets boring. I mean, 2 to 3 hours is a long time, dude, to be fair. He said, at least in PvE mode. If you like PvP, aka getting called names and getting kicked because you can't keep up with the 5,000 hour bunny hopping tryhards, then be my guest. I wouldn't know about that one, man. His Left 4 Dead is buggy. Buggier than Back 4 Blood for sure. Oh, without question, it's buggier. Right? But it's quite tolerable. If you played anything like Payday, like crashes every pretty much hourly, you'll know the pain. And then you see, and then talk about things that will help Back 4 Blood be better and stuff like that. This guy says Back 4 Blood surpassed it only graphically. We already debunked that. It has the characters, it has the lines, it has the voice acting, it has the levels, the level design, superiority, more weapons, more ridden variants, or whatever you want to call them, variety of enemies and stuff like that. Ridden is the name of the special zombie, because these aren't zombies, let's be real. They're, even Left 4 Dead, they're infected, they're not zombies. Zombies don't move like that, right? You know, what you call it, weapons, events, variety, characters, builds, replayability. To say Back 4 Blood only wins graphically is absolutely a lie. It also wins in animation. It wins in also in PvP now when it has the PvP. It just shows how dishonest these people are. And I just wanted to go over that. The nonsense troll who I just debunked, because I literally just ignored him at one point. I just told him, you're dismissed. I'm done, bro, with you. Bye. And like I tell people, once I dismiss you, you no longer exist. And the guy keeps on messaging, trying so hard for me to come back. He even changed his tune on his last message. I said, he said, can you please, like, can you come back and please, like, deal with the argument and explain yourself? Now he's talking respectfully. Now he's asked me to come back and talking like, please. It's like the troll can't live without me for some reason. Sucker, you met me like 2 days ago. Move on. We don't know each other. We ain't got a relationship. Like I told, if you told, you're gonna be disrespectful, you're gonna be an idiot, you're gonna be a troll. I'm not gonna waste time with you. What did the Bible say? Do not cast your pearls to the swine, lest they tread it underfoot and then turn around and rend you. I'm not gonna waste time with trash and pigs. And then I'm done with the guy. Dismiss. I'm not going back. And now he wants to bring out the pleas. Hey, can you like at least respond to the argument, deal with the argument? You never made an argument. You just came out calling us glazers, calling us dumb, calling this game horrible, lying, and like all this stuff. And it's just like, and I ain't want to talk about, please deal with the argument. Let's be civilized about this. Sucker, you weren't. And as soon as that, I still haven't replied to him. So he can cry for attention. Like, just move on, dude. Go troll, I guess, someone else. That's what you do, right? Like, I'm not engaged in that. But once I'm done with you, I'm done with you. That's why I don't like to, like leave comments on the people's videos. So when you deal with a troll, you can't really deal with it. They're just there to harass you. At least on my channel, if someone comes in here and starts being completely stupid, I can actually get rid of you. So I avoid commenting on play where I don't have that kind of power. There's just no point. So there you go again, guys. The critics are all on board. Variety of critics. And there's more. This is just the ones I showed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just 5. Revolution gave it an 8 out of 10. That's 6. Nominated for multiple awards. I mean, what bad game do you know has nominated for multiple awards? Got rated as strong. Even by over 100 plus critics. Got a good score and everything. And that weak argument, and this is a sign of people who are low IQ, where they say, well, Left 4 Dead 2 is better because it sold better and this, that. Bad games can sell badly, and good games, like bad games can sell badly, and bad games can sell well. Good games can sell good, and good games can sell bad. I mean, we have videos when people talk about 20 games that were great, but failed in the eyes of the public. 10 games that are fantastic, but flopped. 15 games that are so good they deserved better. Like, there are good games out there that did not get the respect for deserve. People say that about Titanfall 2. Sometimes you might have a game that might have launched between the next big Halo game and then after it's Call of Duty. You might have a game that got released 1 week after GTA 6, and because of that, no one knows it existed, and it failed off of that. It wasn't a bad game, it just didn't work. A good game can sell poorly, and a bad game can sell well. Just because Left 4 Dead 2 maybe was more popular with the stupid people, no offense to the people who are actually normal people who are just like the game, you guys are cool, right? Doesn't mean it's better than Back 4 Blood. That shows you don't know how to compare games and objectively compare them and tell what's good and what's bad. You're stupid. So that's a garbage argument. Don't bring up Left 4 Dead performing better in terms of the eyes of the public or sales, whatever. That doesn't matter. There's a context to it. Right? And, that was the thing that they brought up. That one troll also said that Aliens Fireteam Elite and Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide aren't good games. He said you named other mid or bad games. So apparently, Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, Aliens Fireteam Elite, which is getting a sequel, by the way. They're promoting and talking about it. Aliens Fireteam Elite 2. Those are bad games, apparently, guys, or just mid. Argue with your mama, right? I'm done with these people. So once again, I objectively proved Back 4 Blood is the better game. It's not even close. And I don't even need to be a game developer to do that, even though I am. We went over why it's better. The critics are even giving it that praise. It's its own thing. It does it well. And I sometimes return back to this as well. I absolutely enjoy that. These characters are so different from each other, and they're far more interesting. Again, the only character people seem to remember and care about from Left 4 Dead is Mr. Reloading. Coach, Evangelo, Walker, Harley, Mom, Doc, Hoffman, Jim, Carly, Hang, Sharice, Prophet Dan, and Tala with the friendly tall boy. But stop it. Stop it. But if you do want to, prove me wrong, everyone has failed so far. You want to, prove that Left 4 Dead 2 without the mods. Alright, I don't want to hear about that mod where every Ridden is a big booba vampire lady. Alright, we get it. You PC gooners, you horny bums. We get it. When all the characters are naked, the game seems to be better. I get you. Right? Just the game itself, and prove it is better than Back 4 Blood. Don't bring up sales. And even worse, I'm so glad I remember it now. Don't bring up Steam numbers. I don't care. Anyone who uses Steam numbers to show if a game is doing badly or whatever like that, they're idiots. Steam does not represent nowhere near the fraction of all the gaming action that takes place. You got games like Fortnite, that's why, one of the, if not the biggest game right now, it's not on Steam. Right? So what? Fortnite a failure? People are, look at Call of Duty Black Ops 7's numbers on Steam. Even though it's literally number 1 and number 2 across Xbox and PlayStation, where there's millions and millions of players and doing extraordinarily well. Oh, look at Diablo 4. Look at the Steam numbers. It has other launchers like Battle.net. Blizzard's got its own thing. People forget that, people are playing, Halo mostly on Xbox. And then they're playing it also, Game Pass. Then they're playing it through xCloud. And then they're also playing it on PC, but maybe not on Steam. Steam is not the only place for PC. And so they look at Steam numbers and be like, 8,000 players, lol. And it's like, gosh, you were dropped on your head at birth. So don't bring up Steam numbers to me. I don't care. Do not bring up sales or public perception of it. People hate games that are amazing. Starfield won Game of the Year and Xbox Game of the Year and Most Innovative Game on Steam. Best-selling game in this month. Stayed in the top 10 best-selling game throughout the rest of the year, especially in the US. Was ranked in Steam's Platinum department for best, and those are the best-selling games. Platinum are the top-selling games. Up there with Baldur's Gate 3 and Hogwarts Legacy, with reviewers giving it 100 out of 100. 5 out of 5, 4 out of 4, 99 out of 100, 98 out of 100, 95 out of 100 from many different critics, all these high scores, but people still want to say, the public still, like the trolls and the grifters, they still want to say it was bad. So I don't care about the public perception they love Left 4 Dead 2 over that. We know nostalgia is a drug. I talked about that. Don't bring up no Steam number. I don't care. Objectively prove Left 4 Dead 2 is better than Back 4 Blood. Go ahead. I've already given my points, and that's not even everything I've got for Back 4 Blood. I'm still going easy. if I was to dive down into the design detail, the technicality levels, oh boy, it's gonna be a fast one. So I'll leave it there. All right, don't play with me, but you know, I like to have good conversations, bro. Not with trolls. I'll leave it there, I guess. It's already over an hour. Have an awesome day, everyone, and regardless of what's going on, make sure to do the Earthwalk, and I'll see you guys around.